Hello Transmanians, and welcome to another journey video. In late March, I had the opportunity to visit the United States, specifically Detroit, Michigan. During my time there, I filmed several videos, including a tour of the Detroit People Mover, a ride on a QLine streetcar, and even a quick visit to the Renaissance Center before General Motors relocates later this year. In this video, I took the QLine streetcar into downtown Detroit, where I transferred to the Detroit People Mover, heading towards Michigan Avenue. From there, I made my way to the Detroit bus station, boarded a FlixBus, and crossed the border into Canada, traveling all the way to Toronto's Union Station. The next day, I continued my journey by taking the GO Train to Niagara Falls, where I transferred to a WEGO bus that brought me directly to the Table Rock bus terminal, located right next to the falls, where this adventure concludes. Curious about the FlixBus and GO Train experiences? Watch this video for the full journey and find out more. We are at Grand Boulevard and Woodward Avenue, near the Grand Boulevard QLine streetcar stop, the northern terminus of the line. The QLine is a 3.3-mile, 5.3-kilometer streetcar system in Detroit, Michigan, connecting downtown Detroit with Midtown and New Center along Woodward Avenue. It opened on May the 12th, 2017. And is owned and operated by the Regional Transit Authority of Southeast Michigan. In December 2011, city and state leaders shifted from a light rail to a bus rapid transit plan for the city. Shortly after, M1 Rail, a consortium of public and private entities, proposed a streetcar line along the same route, linking the Detroit People Mover to the Amtrak station in New Center. My plan was to get off at Grand Circus Park, where I was going to make my transfer to the Detroit People Mover. The QLine streetcar fleet consists of Brookville Liberty vehicles manufactured by Brookville Equipment Corporation of Pennsylvania. These same vehicles are also used on other streetcar systems, including those in Dallas, Oklahoma City, and Temple, among others. The streetcars are equipped with 750-volt rechargeable lithium-ion batteries to enable off-wire operation on sections of the line that lack overhead wiring, which I find pretty unique. Entering the streetcar, the service was free, just like the People Mover. The reason for this is because it's supported by a combination of public and private funding, including a 17-year, $5 million annual subsidy from the Michigan legislature, ensuring free rides through 2039.
Now arriving at Warren Avenue, brought to you by Wayne State University. Please exit to the right. Stop is Canfield Street, home of MoCAD, the Lawrence Tech University Detroit Center, and the Nanamdi Gallery. Arriving at Sprout Street, brought to you by Village Companies. Please exit to the right. Arriving at Grand Circus, brought to you by Chevrolet. Please exit to the right.
Lately? They told you that lately? Oh.
Riding the QLine Detroit streetcar was a generally smooth and pleasant experience, with the streetcar maintaining a steady pace throughout the journey. In my opinion, the QLine offers a superior experience compared to the often criticized DC streetcar, which I've encountered issues with, such as cars obstructing the tracks, slow speeds, and difficulty locating the Union Station stop. Overall, the QLine provided a good experience, with one notable exception: the scheduling. During my trip to Grand Boulevard, where I began filming this video, I had to wait approximately 30 minutes for the streetcar, which was disappointing. While I'm uncertain about the cause of the delay, the extended wait time was frustrating. Despite this, the ride itself was enjoyable. After the streetcar ride, I transferred to the Detroit People Mover, with a train coming in a couple of minutes, according to my phone. The Detroit People Mover is a 2.94 mile, 4.73 kilometer elevated automated transit system that circulates around downtown Detroit, utilizing advanced linear induction motor technology. It began operations on July 31st, 1987. In 2024, the system recorded a ridership of 1,075,200, averaging 3,100 riders per weekday in the fourth quarter. The People Mover's rolling stock consists of the UTDC ICTS Mark I trains, identical to those used on the Vancouver SkyTrain, and the Toronto Transit Commission's former Line 3 Scarborough Rapid Transit, which was discontinued in 2023.
This is the Grand Circus Park station.
It was going to be an easy two-stop ride, with me getting off at Michigan Avenue.
The next station is Times Square.
After the train ride was a walk to the Detroit bus station, which took about 8 to 11 minutes to get there. And this is the Detroit bus station, located on Howard Street and located in the Corktown neighborhood. The bus station is managed by Greyhound Lines and serves Barron's Bus Lines, Indian Trails, and of course FlixBus. The current building was opened in 1991. Detroit's intercity bus service dates back to the 1920s, with several terminals, including a Greyhound station on Grand River Avenue in 1937 and another on Congress Street in 1958, which was eventually criticized before the 1991 station was built. Regarding my thoughts on the bus terminal, there isn't much to note. It offers standard amenities, including bus bays, restrooms, and vending machines, nothing particularly remarkable. The walk from downtown was manageable, taking approximately 8 to 11 minutes, though the duration may vary depending on your starting point within downtown. It's also possible to take a D-Dot bus, with bus stops located south of the station on Lafayette Boulevard. My FlixBus ticket from Detroit to Toronto cost $90 Canadian and 97 cents. A disappointing price compared to my $57.75 Trailways bus to Detroit. FlixBus offers the option to pay an additional fee for seat selection, typically around $5, as well as a more expensive choice to secure a row to yourself, ranging from $35 to $46. While I have mixed feelings about the value of paying extra for seat selection, in hindsight, spending the additional $5-something was worthwhile, especially considering how crowded the bus became later on. The bus was going to depart for Toronto's Union Station at 12 p.m. After presenting my ticket and passport, it was time to board.
Hang on a sec, folks. Hang on a second.
Do they have? No, they don't have the
And this was where I sat. A pretty fair window seat.
We'll get out at Pearson Airport. That's where we exit. Terminal 1. We'll go get our car.
I don't see it.
We got a few hours.
My seat had good legroom, comparable to my previous experience on Trailways. The seat also included a footrest. At the time of recording the video, I didn't notice the random McDonald's cup beneath the seat in front of me. Unfortunately, the power outlets were not functional throughout the entire 7-hour trip, which was inconvenient. I had to rely on my power bank, particularly for my camera. On the positive side, the seat recliner was quite comfortable. There was also a small item attached to the back of the seat, though I was unsure of its purpose. The bathroom was identical to the one on my Trailways trip, with functional locks, but the light was off, which I found rather odd. As a result, I had to use my phone's flashlight to see inside. In typical FlixBus fashion, the Wi-Fi was also non-functional. I couldn't even access the login page. Fortunately, I had mobile data to rely on. The bus departed from the station at 12 p.m. After crossing the border, it made scheduled stops in Windsor, Chatham, 2 locations in London, Kitchener, Toronto Pearson International Airport, and ultimately at Toronto's Union Station, where it was expected to arrive at 7:05 p.m. However, due to heavy rush hour traffic, I anticipated that the bus would not arrive on time. In researching travel options for the trip from Detroit to Niagara Falls, I was provided with multiple routes. The challenge, however, was that these routes involved multiple transfers and walks, which could potentially be confusing for some travelers. Ultimately, I found that the simplest option was to make a transfer at Toronto's Union Station. Additionally, I had already created a FlixBus video last year documenting the journey from Windsor to Toronto. To avoid repeating the same content, I decided to extend my trip to Niagara Falls, making the video longer and more engaging. The bus entered the Detroit-Windsor Tunnel, an international highway tunnel connecting Detroit, Michigan, and Windsor, Ontario. At 5,160 feet long and 75 feet below the river's surface, it is the second busiest crossing between the US and Canada after the Ambassador Bridge. Construction began in 1928, led by executive engineer Burnside A. Value, with design by Søren Anton Thoresen and ventilation by Ole Singstad. After passing through the tunnel, the bus made a stop at a Canada Border Services Agency facility, where all passengers were required to disembark, bring their personal belongings, and undergo screening. The customs process took about 10 minutes, much quicker than my experience at US Customs. No body scanners or bag searches were conducted. The process consisted of a routine conversation with border agents about the purpose of crossing. There were 2 Canadian agents present compared to just 1 at US Customs during my previous experience. As a Canadian who has gone through customs multiple times, I find the process here to be generally more relaxed than in the United States. The screening went smoothly overall, except for a slightly awkward moment when the agent seemed puzzled by my brief one-day overnight trip to Detroit. Nevertheless, the experience was efficient and professional. After leaving the facility, the bus made its way to downtown Windsor. Windsor is located on the south bank of the Detroit River, across from Detroit, Michigan. It is Canada's southernmost city and part of Essex County. With a population of 229,660, it is the 3rd largest city in southwestern Ontario. The Detroit-Windsor area forms North America's largest transborder conurbation, with the Ambassador Bridge being the busiest commercial crossing. Known as the automotive capital of Canada, Windsor plays a key role in Canada's automotive industry and has a diverse cultural heritage. The bus arrived at 181 Goyo Street, its first scheduled stop. In my Windsor to Toronto FlixBus video, I expressed dissatisfaction with this location, suggesting that the bus should instead stop at the Windsor International Bus Terminal to avoid the extra walk to Goyo Street. Well, as of April 3rd, 2025, just 2 weeks after this trip, FlixBus has changed its stop to the transit terminal, making it more convenient for passengers wishing to transfer to local transit services. After more than an hour on the road along Highway 401, the bus arrived at the Chatham FlixBus stop at 22,216 Bloomfield Road, located at an Esso gas station southwest of the town. Prior to reaching its 2 stops in London, Ontario, the bus made a 15-minute stop at an ONroute in Dutton. Directly across Highway 401 was the West Lorne ONroute, the same location I visited on my way to Detroit with Trailways. I was surprised by the early stop, as I had expected the bus to stop at the Woodstock ONroute, similar to my Windsor to Toronto trip. The Dutton ONroute was nearly identical to West Lorne, featuring a Popeyes, Tim Hortons, A&W, a convenience store with snacks and drinks, a CIBC ATM, and restrooms. Additionally, there was a microwave available for those wishing to heat food, and a Canadian Tire gas station convenience store offered further snack options. Roughly a half an hour later, the bus was finally in London, Ontario. London, located in southwestern Ontario, has a population of 422,324. Situated at the confluence of the Thames and North Thames rivers, it is 200 kilometers from Toronto and Detroit, and 230 kilometers from Buffalo. Founded in 1826, it became a city in 1855 and is now the largest municipality in southwestern Ontario and Canada's 11th largest metro area. London is a hub for healthcare and education, home to major hospitals, Fanshawe College, and Western University, where the bus was going to make one of its 2 stops in the city. London's economy is driven by education, healthcare, manufacturing, finance, and IT. The city is well connected by highways 401 and 402, rail, bus stations, and the London International Airport. After the stop at Western University, the bus made its way to downtown London City Plaza at 352 Waterloo Street, within walking distance of the London Via Rail station. By this point, the bus was quite full, and I found myself with a seatmate, which is uncommon in my intercity bus experiences. I took the opportunity to research alternative routes from London to Niagara Falls without passing through Toronto. By taking Via Rail from the London train station, I could transfer at Aldershot station to a GO train and GO bus. However, in my case, due to scheduling constraints, this option wasn't feasible, so I continued on to Toronto as planned. An hour later, I arrived in Kitchener with a bus stop located at 2410 Homer Watson Boulevard in the suburban community of Doon, which is located south of the city. Settled around 1800, Doon is situated at the confluence of Schneider Creek and the Grand River. By 1870, it was home to mills, industries, and a population of 200. Known as the birthplace of landscape artist Homer Watson, Doon is now part of Kitchener, featuring the Doon Heritage Village and the main campus of Conestoga College. One hour later, the bus arrived at Toronto Pearson International Airport, Terminal 1. Here, passengers can transfer to various local and regional transit services, including TTC buses to subway stations, My Way to Mississauga, Brampton Transit to Brampton, and GO Transit buses to destinations such as Hamilton, Vaughan, Richmond Hill, and Pickering. Of course, as an airport, flights are also available, and FlixBus offers a direct route to Niagara Falls from the airport. However, due to scheduling, I was unable to take this option, as the last bus to Niagara Falls at the time of recording, in March, departed at 3:20 p.m. The Union Pearson Express also operates from the airport, offering a 25-minute train ride to Union Station. While this would have been a faster route to downtown, I would have had to pay an additional fare, as FlixBus tickets to the airport were priced the same as those to Union Station. Therefore, I chose to remain on the bus and prepare for the traffic ahead. Approximately 10 to 15 minutes after departing Pearson, the bus made its way onto the Gardner Expressway, where traffic began to build due to a rehabilitation project affecting certain sections of the roadway. The congestion on the Gardner Expressway is a primary contributor to delays for buses. Unfortunately, traffic is expected to worsen in the future, as additional construction will be required on 5 bridges. These bridge repairs are anticipated to be completed by November 2026 at the earliest. At this point, the bus had been stuck in traffic for 25 minutes, and I realized that had I taken the Union Pearson Express, I would have already arrived at Union Station. After 25 minutes of traffic, the bus finally picked up speed, heading toward the downtown core of Toronto. Toronto, the capital of Ontario, is Canada's largest city with 2.8 million residents in 2021, making it the 4th largest in North America. The Greater Toronto Area had 6.7 million people in 2021, with an estimated 7.1 million in 2024. It is a global hub for business, finance, arts, sports, and culture. Indigenous peoples have inhabited the area for over 10,000 years. Founded by the British as York in 1793, it became Toronto in 1834 and the capital of Ontario in 1867, expanding to 630.2 square kilometers. Nearly half of its residents are immigrants, with over 160 languages spoken. Toronto attracts 43 million tourists annually, with a CN Tower as a key landmark. The city is a financial center, home to the Toronto Stock Exchange, Canada's largest banks, and a growing tech industry, making it North America's 3rd largest tech hub. The bus arrived at Union Station approximately 10 minutes late, which wasn't too bad. After several passengers disembarked, new passengers boarded the bus, which then continued its journey, ultimately reaching its destination in Ottawa. Overall, the journey from Detroit to Toronto was satisfactory. While it wasn't as streamlined as Trailways, with fewer stops and a shorter travel time, it was still a good experience. At this point, I had the option to transfer to another FlixBus to Niagara Falls, scheduled to depart from the terminal at 10 p.m. However, I chose to wait until the following day, primarily because the bus journey would have been a night trip. For the sake of this video, and to allow viewers to enjoy the scenery, I decided to postpone the trip until the next day, opting to take the train instead to add some variety to the experience. The very next day came, and I was once again at Toronto's Union Station, where I was going to take the Lakeshore West Express GO Train to Niagara Falls. This is the Great Hall of Toronto's Union Station. This station opened in 1927. Union Station has been a National Historic Site of Canada since 1975 and a Heritage Railway Station since 1989. It is operated by the Toronto Terminals Railway, a joint venture of the Canadian National Railway and Canadian Pacific Railway that directs and controls train movement along the Union Station Rail Corridor, the largest and busiest rail corridor in Canada. The Great Hall of Union Station is truly magnificent, resembling the grandeur of a cathedral. However, the wall barricade on the right detracted from its aesthetic appeal. I was at the York Concourse, one of two GO Train concourses, which opened on April 27, 2015, following the closure of the old concourse for renovations. Both the York and Bay concourses were extensively renovated, resulting in a sleek modern design.
Lakeshore East services are adjusted due to construction. Please proceed to Union Station Bus Terminal for direct GO bus service to Pickering GO. GO trains run between Pickering and Boulevard Junction. For all demonstrations, please consider TTC options.
As seen here, the York Concourse also features a food court, providing passengers with options for food and beverages for the 2.5-hour journey. My Lakeshore West Express GO train was scheduled to depart from the station at 1:05 p.m. At the time of recording, there are 3 scheduled GO train services to and from Niagara Falls, 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon, and 1 in the evening. If you're unable to catch the express trains, you can take the local Lakeshore West GO trains, but please note that a transfer at Burlington GO Station is required to board the 12B GO bus route, as the local trains do not terminate at Niagara. On GO Transit, passengers typically tap their Presto card on a reader to travel from point A to point B. However, GO Transit and WEGO currently offer a special promotion. As of this recording, a 24-hour round trip between Toronto and Niagara Falls costs just $20 on weekends. Tickets can be purchased online at niagaraparks.com. These tickets provide unlimited access to GO train rides on the Lakeshore West Line and WEGO buses, which stop throughout Niagara Falls. In comparison, a round trip on FlixBus would be slightly more expensive, typically around $30. Additionally, if you plan to use WEGO buses, a 24-hour fare would cost an extra $13. One advantage of FlixBus is that it takes you directly to the Table Rock Transit Terminal, while taking the GO train requires a free transfer to WEGO buses at the Niagara Falls GO station. However, a drawback of FlixBus is the potential for unpredictable traffic delays. In my past experiences taking intercity coach buses from Toronto to Niagara Falls, none of the buses arrived on time, so it's important to be prepared for possible delays. Both options have their pros and cons, but I personally prefer using GO Transit and WEGO for my travels. The GO train consists of 3-level, bi-level coaches, most of which are manufactured by Bombardier. The seating arrangement features a 2x2 configuration, with seats facing both forward and backward. In the middle of the train, there is a wheelchair-accessible car, and the coaches are equipped with racks for bicycles. Although I didn't verify the presence of a dedicated bike rack car during my trip, as this video was recorded in late March, it's worth noting that these racks are typically available. Given that this was a 2.5-hour journey, restroom facilities were provided. The newer cars are equipped with power outlets and USB ports, which were functional at my seat. As for the Wi-Fi, I was pleasantly surprised by the speed. It was sufficient for streaming YouTube videos in 1080p at 30 frames per second, a significant improvement over my previous experience with GO Transit's Wi-Fi.
stay clear of the doors. Doors are now closing. Good afternoon, passengers. Welcome aboard your 105 westbound train, making select stops to Exhibition, Port Credit, Oakville, Burlington, Aldershot, St. Catharines, and Niagara Falls. I'm the customer service ambassador locating the accessibility coach 2553, which is right in the middle of the train. Once again, we're making select stops to Exhibition, Port Credit, Oakville, Burlington, Aldershot, St. Catharines, then Niagara Falls. On behalf of GO Train and the operating crew, we'd like to thank you for riding with us today. Hope you have a pleasant trip. Our first stop on this trip, Exhibition.
Oh, that made it sound like it's something.
The train departed Union Station at 1:05 p.m. as scheduled. The express train was expected to be at Niagara Falls at 3:24 p.m.
Yeah, a little bit. Okay, sounds good.
Now arriving at Exhibition.
Arrivé à
Exhibition.
Stop. Stop, Nike. Acá fuimos. Aquí no te puedes. Acá fuimos. Tío.
Exhibition GO Station is located in Toronto, situated west of downtown at Exhibition Place. The station serves a hub of convention venues, sports facilities, and entertainment attractions, including restaurants and nightclubs. It is also near Liberty Village, a redeveloped residential area. The station is heavily used during the Canadian National Exhibition, as well as for events at nearby locations like Coca-Cola Coliseum, BMO Field, Ontario Place, and Budweiser Stage. Exhibition is the southwestern terminus of the future TTC Ontario line. The line is targeted for a 2031 opening, though I personally do not believe this. Due to past TTC projects being currently delayed, I believe the line will open somewhere as late as 2036.
Arriving at Port Credit.
Arrivé à
Port Credit.
Port Credit GO Station in Mississauga, Ontario is a key stop on the Lakeshore West Line. Here, you can transfer to MyWay buses. The under-construction Hurontario LRT will also serve the station, though I personally believe that it will not open until I guess 2029. Port Credit, a neighborhood in south-central Mississauga at the mouth of the Credit River, was once an independent town until 1974. It developed a harbor post-war of 1812 and later saw industrial growth. Now primarily residential, it became a municipality in 1909 and merged with Mississauga in 1974. Its village core is a heritage district, and the harbor is used for recreational boating. Recent condo developments, including a 3,900-unit project on a former Imperial Oil site, have raised traffic concerns.
Arriving at Oakville.
Arrivé à Oakville.
At Oakville GO Station, passengers can transfer to Oakville Transit buses. The station is also a stop for Via Rail trains traveling to Windsor, Sarnia, and the joint Via Amtrak Maple Leaf train going to New York City. Oakville, located in Halton Region, lies on the shores of Lake Ontario between Toronto and Hamilton. With a population of 213,759 according to the 2021 census, and an estimated 233,700 in 2024. It is Ontario's largest town and a key part of the Greater Toronto Area.
Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah. Okay, fine. Then I'm gonna invite someone else.
Now arriving at Burlington.
Arrivé à Burlington.
As the train approached Burlington, someone activated the emergency alarm. Initially, it was unclear whether it was a genuine emergency. However, it was soon confirmed to be a false alarm, triggered without cause. Unfortunately, this resulted in the alarm sounding for several minutes, creating a noticeable and prolonged disturbance for passengers on board.
A member of the crew will be there to assist your emergency situation.
At Burlington GO Station, passengers can transfer to Burlington transit buses. Additionally, the station serves as a stop for the 12B GO bus route to Niagara Falls GO Station, providing an alternative for those who miss the express train. Burlington, officially known as the City of Burlington, is a city and lower-tier municipality located in Halton Region at the western end of Lake Ontario. It is part of the Greater Toronto Area, the Hamilton Census Metropolitan Area, and the Golden Horseshoe Urban Region.
Now arriving at Aldershot.
Arrivé à Aldershot.
The yellow emergency strip should only be pressed when medical, police, transit safety, or fire services are needed. Or you can discreetly text help at 77777. There is a fine for misuse.
La bande d'alarme jaune ne doit être enclenchée que lorsque les services médicaux, le service de sécurité, la police ou les pompiers s'avèrent nécessaires. Pour une option plus discrète, vous pouvez également texter le mot au 77777. Tout usage abusif est passible d'une amende.
At Aldershot Station, which was still located in Burlington, you can still transfer to Burlington transit buses and a Hamilton Street Railway bus to Hamilton. The station is also a stop for Via Rail and Amtrak trains. Aldershot is a community within Burlington, situated along the shores of Burlington Bay on Lake Ontario. Originally an unincorporated village in East Flamborough Township, it was annexed by the city of Burlington in 1958.
Hey Jess, it's Nicholas. Not too bad. I have to make this quick because my phone's about to die, but I just wanted to make sure. How many cars are you guys thinking tonight? Just one? Okay. If you guys just, I don't know if the Niagara Falls or not, but if you guys park it,
While I was riding the train to St. Catharines, I noticed that a new GO station was being built, Confederation GO Station. The station is part of the planned expansion of GO Transit's Lakeshore West Line to Niagara Falls. Although construction began in 2017, the station's opening has faced multiple delays. Work resumed in October 2022, with completion expected this year, apparently.
arriving at St. Catharines.
The current St. Catharines station is a designated heritage railway station. The single-level pavilion-style station was built in 1917 by the Grand Trunk Railway, acquired by CN in 1923, and later by Via Rail in 1986. It is the third station on the site, following earlier versions from 1853 and 1898. St. Catharines is the largest city in Ontario's Niagara region and the 8th largest urban area in the province, with a population of 136,803 over 96.13 square kilometers. Located in southern Ontario, it sits 51 kilometers south of Toronto and 19 kilometers from the US border. Known as the Garden City for its 1,000 acres of parks and trails, it's the northern entrance of the Welland Canal. Once dominated by manufacturing, formerly home to General Motors, the city's economy has shifted towards services and education, including Brock University. It's also a designated urban growth center under Ontario's Regional Development Plan.
Just a few moments, we'll be arriving at Niagara Falls. Once again, Niagara Falls is our final stop. Please look around, make sure you have all of your personal belongings with you before you exit the train. And on behalf of GO Transit and the operating crew, I'd like to thank you for riding with us today. Hope you had a pleasant trip. Once again, this is Niagara Falls.
After a slow and somewhat drawn-out approach, the train finally arrived at Niagara Falls GO Station on time. Despite the earlier false emergency alarm and the unusual slow ride nearing the station, the ride overall was enjoyable. The final leg of the journey involved transferring to a WEGO bus headed for Table Rock. When GO trains arrive, WEGO buses are typically stationed nearby to transport passengers to key destinations near the falls. I boarded a bus that went directly to the Table Rock Transit Terminal with no stops along the way, which was a welcoming convenience. The ride itself was quick, lasting about 10 minutes.
If you want to go in.
Sorry.
Hi everyone, welcome to Niagara Falls. This is Niagara Park Transportation. This is one-way free shuttle from between people to the falls. Coming back, you look for the single ticket for the day pass. However, if you want to purchase it as well, we are in a Boulevard and Streetcar, and you can go around. We have a winter schedule, so we have a different timing for the attraction. Depending on going to the flight and the really close by 5 o'clock, last entry by 4:30. On our right side, we are visiting Niagara Station, Niagara Park. And that side, we are passing Canadian Fortune Mall. Next to Fortune Mall, this building is Table Rock, where we have a variety of facilities behind the mall, only this welcome center sends WEGO single ticket, which other attractions do not sell. So if you are buying a railway single ticket to Windsor to the train station, please purchase ahead of the time. On that side, this mall booth will be selling you the ticket. Thank you for your visit. Have a wonderful evening.
And this is where the journey concludes, at the Table Rock Transit Terminal. The trip from Toronto to Detroit took nearly 9 hours, while the journey from Toronto to Niagara Falls took exactly 3. Previously, when purchasing the GO Transit and WEGO combo tickets online, I had to visit the Welcome Center to collect a physical WEGO bus pass. Thankfully, the process has since been streamlined. Tickets can now be scanned directly from your phone, which is much more convenient. The Welcome Center is just a short walk from the intercity coach bus loop, and for those arriving by bus instead of GO Transit, this is also where you can purchase a 24-hour WEGO bus pass. Welp, I hope you enjoyed the video and found it helpful in some way. The weather was quite pleasant for a weekend in late March, sunny for most of my stay. And despite the time of year, the city was still bustling with some visitors.